Hey, welcome to the lesson on naming and writing formulas for simple ionic compounds. Okay, so let's begin. What is an ionic compound? So you would have learned this in Science 9. A compound is formed when two or more atoms of different elements combine. An ionic compound contains a metal element or ion combined with a non-metal element or ion. The metal gives away an electron or more to a nonmetal, forming a positively charged ion. The nonmetal gains electrons from the metal, forming a negatively charged ion. We already saw this when we drew Bohr diagrams for ionic compounds, so it's the same concept as that. So an ionic compound, an example would be table salt, as we just learned about. And table salt is made up of sodium ions and chlorine ions. The chemical formula for table salt is sodium chloride, is NaCl, and the compound name is sodium chloride. So the formula is NaCl and the name is sodium chloride. And the common name, we don't usually say sodium chloride when we talk about salt, we just call it salt. So that is referred to as the common name. Now, when an ionic compound forms ionic lattice, it does not form a molecule, it forms a clump of atoms, positively and negatively charged atoms that stick together because they have opposite charges. So the purple circles represent sodium ions and the green circles represent chlorine ions. So naming ionic compounds. What are the rules for naming an ionic compound? We write the name of the metal first, write the name of the nonmetal second, and we change the ending of the nonmetal to IDE. So sodium and chlorine becomes sodium chloride. Okay, writing the formula for an ionic compound. So a formula shows the type of elements in a compound and the number of atoms of each. The symbol for the metal ion is written first, followed by the symbol of the non-metal ion. Subscripts are written to the bottom right of the symbol to show the ratio of ions in the compound. So we're going to write the formula for sodium chloride. So sodium chloride is sodium and chlorine. So we're going to use our periodic table and we're going to find sodium on the periodic table, and it's over here. And what we're going to need is this charge here. There's a charge of 1 plus, so we need that. And then we find chlorine on the other side, and we need the charge, it's 1 minus. That's going to be really important. So in order to write the formula for the compound, we're going to use something called the charge balancing method. So we draw one atom of each element and we write the charge. So sodium has a charge of 1 plus and chlorine has a charge of 1 minus. So now that means sodium gives away 1 electron and chlorine gains 1 electron. So these charges are balanced, which means sodium is going to combine in a ratio of 1 to 1. So the ratio of sodium to chlorine is 1 to 1. We have 1 sodium. You can see there's 1 circle representing sodium, 1 circle representing chlorine. So it's a ratio of 1 to 1. So the formula is written as NaCl. The imaginary 1 here and here is not written. We don't write it. Okay, so example 2, write the chemical formula for lithium oxide. So we're going to find lithium on our periodic table. And lithium is here, and the charge is 1 plus. And we're going to find oxygen on the other side, and the nonmetal side, it's over here, and it's 2 minus. So we write the chemical formula, we start by drawing one atom of each, and then we write the charge. So it's 1 plus and 2 minus. So this means lithium wants to give away 1 electron, but oxygen wants to gain 2. So there's a little bit of a mismatch here. And you can see that the charges are not balanced. You have 1 positive charge and 2 negative charges. So how do we resolve this issue? Well, we draw another positive charge, another lithium. This is exactly what you did when you drew the Bohr diagrams for the compounds. And so we write the charge 1 plus, and now we have 2 positive charges and 2 negative charges, so the charges are balanced. So we add up all the charges, they're balanced. When the charges are balanced, you're finished drawing your diagram. You have 2 lithiums and 1 oxygen. So the ratio is 2 to 1. So the formula becomes Li2O. Okay, now pause the video and try drawing or writing the chemical formula for the following compounds. And here are the answers. Sodium oxide is Na2O. Magnesium chloride is MgCl2. And lithium nitride is Li3N. If you got those all correct, you're ready to move on to the assignment. If not, you may need to ask Mr. Johal for some extra help or go back over and review the concept. That concludes the presentation.